Hello, and welcome back. Because I saw a film today. I did. That's what I did. I watched a movie. And it's a movie I didn't see, but totally could have. I was working in theaters in 2007. I remember when this thing came out. And I think the reason I didn't see it was, if I remember, 2007, the holiday season was crammed with releases. I feel like we had so many releases coming out, and The Mist did not do well, and it was not in theaters for very long. So, I'm John Stark, Mac the Movie Guy, and this is my review of The Mist. You may be wondering, why The Mist? Well, there's a couple reasons. I fully acknowledge that, I'm a blind film critic, and this film is probably something that if you're looking for somebody to be like, well, how gory was it? Maybe I'm not that guy, but I will tell you, based on the audio description, it's gory. So if you are one of my if you got eyes, and you're looking for gore, this film's got it in spades, based on the audio description, as well as the fact that literally on Netflix, when I was reading the audio description, and it lists like a quick description of the plot, and sometimes it gives you like 3 adjectives that describe the film. It'll say something like exciting, adventurous, funny, or romantic. It just comes up like with these like weird descriptions. Gore was one of them. Gore was one of the 3 adjectives that they used to describe the film. I was like, I don't know that that's really like a vibe for the film, but man, this one must be gory enough if it's one of the 3 things that you used to describe the film by. It's based on the Stephen King novella, short story, whatever you want to call it. And yes, once again, it has been brought to our screens by Frank Darabont, who just has mined the shit out of Stephen King stuff, and we have not seen him in a long time, and I don't know what's going on with Frank Darabont. But somebody needs to hunt that motherfucker down and put him back in the fucking director's chair and make him direct some shit. Because this dude is a solid ass director. I love like all of his stuff. Like, he is hands down one of the best working directors we have, and he's not working, and I don't understand that. And somebody needs to stop his retirement, go attack him, kidnap him, and just drag him onto the set of anything. It's even better if you drag him onto the set of something that's like a Stephen King adaptation. Like, I can't even think of all the shitty Stephen King adaptations we've had recently that he probably would have made better if it was him directing. Like that Pet Sematary remake that we had a couple years ago. Man, could you imagine if that was directed by Frank Darabont? Like, this dude did The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, and The Mist. That's 3. That's 3 of them. He should have been picked for The Dark Tower, by the way. I'll throw my hat in that ring. I don't know why Frank Darabont didn't direct The Dark Tower. He's also got The Majestic on his list of credits. And he's famous for being the guy that started The Walking Dead before AMC let him go, for reasons that I still fully do not understand. Because the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, which are what Frank is responsible for, are really good. And if you watch The Mist, you'll notice really quickly there's something special going on in The Mist. Frank Darabont clearly loved his cast from The Mist, because he just brought them right into Walking Dead. We've got fighting these creatures in The Mist. We've got Dale, we have got Andrea, and we've got Carol. And I was like, man, there are 3 fucking Walking Dead actors that are in this thing before they joined The Walking Dead. They were in The Mist. And I would say Melissa McBride has the smallest part, but she has lines, and she comes, like, her part, like, she comes back around. Like, it's a nice little part for her. But definitely, Dale and Andrea, Jeffrey DeMunn, and God, somebody's gonna make me remind Andrea's name. Fuck. I know it. It's not coming to me. I'm gonna have to move on. Um, Andrea. She's been dead on the show for far too long. I'm surprised I remember Jeffrey DeMunn, to be honest. I almost said Lauren Cohen, but I know that that's wrong because that's Maggie. That was the name that kept coming in my head when I was trying to pull up Angela. Anyway, Andrea. Yeah, this is a solid film with a lot of really interesting choices. It's gory. I like the fact that the monsters are all different and they're not just like one monster. You know, sometimes you watch a monster movie and you're just being attacked by like tons of spiders or like snakes, or like the Tremors movies, until they decided to pop them out of the ground and have them running around in those straight to video sequels. They were kind of all the same thing. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see all these different monsters in the mist. And the ensemble is pretty solid. We got some good actors here. We got Thomas Jane in the lead role. That dude, again, where's Thomas Jane been? I feel like he has not been doing nearly enough. And with all of the streaming series that happen all the time and all the movies on like every streaming service, I should be seeing Thomas Jane at least once a year in something. Like, he should not have fallen off the face of the planet. I shouldn't be having to rack my brain to figure out what was the last thing Thomas Jane did. It should just come to mind. He's a good actor, and the final scenes of this film prove it. And who else we got in this film? I think that was Chris Owen. I think that's I didn't realize, I thought he had stopped acting by this point, but I swear Chris Owen is the poor little stock boy there. I think that is the Shermanator from American Pie films. And we've got Marcia Gay Harden in this. She was great playing a crazy old lady. And we got Andre Braugher, who I was just really frustrated with his character. He was one of like the downsides of the character, because his character was too smart to be that stupid. Like, his character, Marcia Gay Harden managed to make her character work, but Andre Braugher just did his character like he was reading the lines, and he wasn't quite sure how his character worked. And I don't know that anyone knew how to make his character work, so he just kind of read the lines and did it and then left and just was like, this is my character, this is how it's written. I think he was probably just miscast. I didn't really buy his character at all. It was pretty much the only one where I was like, I don't think he's well written. I think Andre Braugher is the wrong person for this role. But I don't usually have that problem with Andre Braugher, so he's usually a good actor. So that's, like I said, it's not quite like 100% perfect, but I was pretty impressed with The Mist. I thought this film was going to suck. Actually, I thought this was a film that everybody just didn't see because it sucked. And then I looked it up on IMDb during this process, and I was like, oh, this is above a 7 on IMDb. That's really hard to do for a film that's been around since 2007. Usually a film would have tanked by now. Like, there's enough people on IMDb to have pulled that rating down at least into the 6 range. It's got to have some fans to stay above 7. So this must be a pretty solid film. And I was right. It's a pretty solid film. It's maybe could have been shorter. I don't know. But Also, I think the length of it makes you realize the hopelessness of it. This is the kind of thing that I feel like that if they ever did remake it, it should be a limited series, because the longer that you feel like there's no hope, nothing, no hope, no one's coming. That's the thing about The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead's been going on for so long. I mean, Judith was like, she was like conceived during the zombie apocalypse, and now she's like, I don't know, like in her tweens or teens or whatever, and she's walking around with a gun. Like, if somebody rolled up right now from some other country and started saving America from the zombie apocalypse, we'd all just like look at them with our eyes rolled and be like, where the fuck have you been? I mean, like, look at how long it's been. Look, this girl didn't even exist when the zombie apocalypse started. Where have you been? Like, so yeah, it kind of feels like that kind of, that's why nobody expects it. So if it did happen, if suddenly the French army or whatever just rolled up on America and they're like, we're here. I feel like everybody would be like, wait a minute, I didn't realize this was possible. How long it took you this long to get here? So I feel like that's what The Mist does, is it leaves them there so long where they're just like, well, shit. And the longer that you can make that last, the better. So I think that's what Frank Darabont was trying to do, was keep you there in that hopelessness. The passage of time, he does a lot of cuts, like fades to black, to try to jump time ahead, to make you feel like you've been there even longer. Because when that works, it makes the ending work even a lot more than it actually does. And as someone, I'm trying to avoid saying something about the ending. I would say I knew what the ending was. This film is so famous for its ending that in all the conversations I've ever had with like movie nerds and geeks, I didn't know about anything else in this film except for what I remembered like from previews. Except I knew the ending of the film, because this film has one of those endings like I See Dead People, where it's an ending that people won't shut up about. Like, the people who saw it, everybody's like, oh my God, we have to talk about this ending. That doesn't mean that there's a twist. It doesn't mean that there's anything. I'm just saying this has a memorable ending that you feel like you need to tell everybody. There are a lot of films that fall into this category. They're not all there for one reason or another. Some films are that way too. A lot of them, some of them are just bonkers endings. There was that TV show, St. Elsewhere, where everything was happening inside of a snow globe. I got that right? St. Elsewhere. It was a little bit before my time. I was a little child when St. Elsewhere was happening on TV, but I believe that's the correct reference. And so like everybody knows that that's how that ends. There was the Bob Newhart one where he wakes up next to, and it's like it was all a dream. So I mean, like, sometimes people just know those endings, and it doesn't mean, necessarily anything, but it doesn't mean that the ending is memorable. So this has a very memorable ending that people felt the need to talk about, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Anyway, so even though there's 15 years in this film, I feel like the ending, if you don't know what it is and you can watch The Mist really quickly before somebody tells you what it is, I feel like The Mist will mean more to you. So that's it. That's my review. The audio description was solid. We got Tansy Alexander up in here. She was just dropping audio description bombs all over the place. Just amazing stuff. She had so much stuff to describe. Her and the team that had to write the audio description for this at Zoo Digital just did an exceptional job. There's so much crazy shit happening in this film. These creatures, the attacks that happen, the gore. Just the eeriness. There's a huge ensemble cast to have to pay attention to. There's just a lot going on. This is a very busy movie. So, sometimes I kind of just blow off films and I'm like, this was an easy film to describe. Whatever. Somebody did it. Thanks. You know, this one is a high difficulty film to describe for various reasons. You have to be able to build tension. You don't want to give away a jump scare. You know, I mean, there's so many things that you have to be able to track characters. They're not always visible because of the fucking mist. So it's tough. You have to describe things that have creatures that have no basis in reality. You know, that are not. You have to just say like what they kind of look like, but they're not from our world. So yeah, it was very difficult, and I praised the team at Zoo Digital for doing such a great job with that. Anyway, please, Frank Darabont, come back to directing. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know why you've stopped. I know you've just been trying to like get this lawsuit or AMC with The Walking Dead. It's not worth it, dude. Just fucking direct some more movies, because your career is you. I mean, you're a legend, and I don't know what's happened. I don't know where you've been. I don't know why you won't direct anything anymore. And this just pisses me off, because at least I was like, well, he was a good director, and then he directed The Mist, and then it sucked, and then that's why he stopped directing. That was what I assumed, right? Oh, that he went to TV with The Walking Dead because nobody wanted him to do films because The Mist didn't do well. That was my assumption in my head. That's not true. This movie is fine. This movie is fine. I think people generally look upon it like it's fine. So there's no reason for this dude to stop directing. Rennie Harlan is still fucking making movies. Uwe Boll is still making movies. Frank Darabont can get off his ass wherever he is and come make some damn movies again. That is my official Frank Darabont's stop it. Stop being selfish. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna give The Mist an A-. That's a shocker. But I really enjoyed this. It's not The Green Mile. It's not Shawshank Redemption. Those would probably be A films for me. Even The Majestic, I would give it A. So, I suppose in the grand scheme of the fact that he hasn't directed that many films, maybe this would be his worst films. I don't think Shawshank was his first feature. I'm sure he's got some early ass feature that would be my least favorite. Sort of like Chris Nolan. Spoiler alert, my least favorite film of his is Following. So, it's also his first. But it just is. That's my least favorite of his. So, anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe. You can go to my website, macmovieguy.com, for more reviews. You can head over to the Audio Description Project to find out what has audio description and where you can watch it, and to theadna.org to see what else Tansy Alexander's been up to, because she is amazing and describes everything, including Stranger Things. She's a very popular narrator. So that's it for me today. Now I got to go review more movies.